Hello and welcome students. In the last video lecture, I had explained you question number 9 and question number 11 of your chapter number 4, that is journal. Now in this video lecture, I am going to explain you question number 12, that is totally based on the three different terminologies that I had already explained you in the last video lecture, that is trade discount, cash discount and allowance. So let's start with it. That is on page number 104 of your textbook. Transaction of trade discount, cash discount and bad debts. Right, journal entries for the following transactions in the books of Parmeshwar. As you can see on the board, already I have given the heading, that is journal of Parmeshwar, or already you are knowing what is the specimen or format of journal entries, that is date, particulars, LF number, debit and credit. The first transaction, that is on June 2014, first date, introduced cash rupees 50,000, stock of goods 10,000, debtors of 15,000 and commenced business. It means the owner is bringing three different things in the business to start the business, that is cash, stock and debtors. Whenever he is bringing all these things, then the concerned asset will be debited and capital account will always be credited. As you can see on the journal entry that I have written, that is cash comes in, he is bringing cash for rupees 50,000. So debit what comes in as per the rule of real account. So cash account debit, that is 50,000. Stock of goods comes in as per the real account. Debit what comes in. So stock of goods account debit, that is rupees 10,000. Debtors is bringing, debtors is always having a debit balance. In future, the owner has the right to collect the amount of debtors and he is bringing that amount of debtors in the business. So debtors account is debited by rupees 15,000. To capital account credit, that is 75,000, that is total of 50 plus 10 60 and 60 plus 15, that is 75,000. Always capital will be having a credit balance because that much amount of fund that he is investing in the business while starting or commencing the business. Okay, so after the end of the journal entry, you have to write the narration, that is being the owner brings cash, stock of goods and debtors in the business. Next, second journal entry, that is on second date, 10% loan of 20,000 is borrowed from Srimati Snata. Now we have borrowed the loan. While borrowing the loan, cash comes in the business. So you can see the second journal entry that I have done, that is cash comes in. So cash account has been debited by rupees 20,000. Loan we have taken, that is of rupees 20,000. So cash account debit, that is 20,000. To 10% loan of Sharda's account credit, that is 20,000. It's a liability. We have taken the loan from Sharda, so she is the giver of the loan. As per the rule of personal account, credit the giver. So Sharda's account, Sharda's loan account, that is credited by rupees 20,000. Okay. So at the end of the journal entry, you will write the narration, that is being loan of rupees 20,000 obtained from Sharda. Next, that is on third date, goods of rupees 8,000 purchased from Rameshwar stores at 10% trade discount. Now over here we have purchased the goods at 10% trade discount. Now students, over here the name of the customer or the name of the shop has been given to you, that is Rameshwar stores, and nowhere the word cash is being mentioned. It is understood that this is a credit transaction, not a cash transaction. Okay. Now what is the amount of goods purchased, that is 8,000. On 8,000 will come 10% trade discount, then the amount that would come 800. So 8,000 minus 800, that would come to 7,200. Already in the last video lecture I have discussed that trade discount will never be shown in the books of accounts. So always after deducting the trade discount, whatever value comes, that is to be disclosed in the books of accounts. So you can see the third journal entry that I have written, amount that is 7,200 after subtracting trade discount of rupees 800. Okay. So we had purchased the goods. So debit what comes in? Goods comes in because of purchase. So as per the rule of real account, purchase account will be debited. So purchase account debit, that is 7,200. To Rameshwar stores account credit, that is 7,200, because Rameshwar stores from which we have purchased the goods, so he is the giver of the goods. So credit the giver as per the rule of personal account. And always trade discount will never be shown in the books of accounts. Always we have to show that amount after subtracting the amount of trade discount. Okay. So you have to write the narration, that is being goods purchased from Rameshwar stores at 10% trade discount. You can write the short form for trade discount, that is T.D. Okay. Then afterwards, after completion third date, next one is on 5th date. Goods of rupees 5,000 sold to Gayatri stores at 10% trade discount. Just as we had purchased the goods, in the same way we have sold the goods to Gayatri stores at 10% trade discount. Now what is the amount of goods sold? That is 5,000. On 5,000, 10% trade discount it would come to 500. So 5,000 minus 500, remaining amount that would be 4,500. So you can see I have written the journal entry, that is Gayatri stores, because Gayatri stores is the receiver of the goods. We have sold the goods to Gayatri stores. Okay. So debit the receiver as per the rule of personal account. So Gayatri stores account debit, that is 4,500. To sales account credit, that is 4,500. Always purchase will be having a debit balance and sales will be having a credit balance. Okay. Next one, that is on 7th date. Goods of rupees 15,000 purchased from Radha Kishan stores at 10% trade discount and 10% cash discount, issued check for half amount. Now over here in this transaction we have purchased the goods from Radha Kishan stores, that is worth rupees 15,000, and on that we have to count 10% trade discount and 10% cash discount. Students, already have explained the concept of trade discount and cash discount. Whenever both are given to you in any transaction, first of all we have to subtract the trade discount. After subtracting the trade discount, whatever the balance remains, on that we have to count the cash discount. And cash discount will always be provided on the amount when there is a cash transaction. If there is a credit transaction, even though it is given cash discount, we don't have to apply the cash discount. So we have to count the amount over here. First of all, the amount that is given to you, 15,000, right? We have purchased the goods worth rupees 15,000 from Radha Kishan stores. On 15,000, half amount is paid by check. So half of 15,000, that would be 7,500, right? But out of 15,000, first of all we have to count 10% trade discount. So 10% trade discount on 15,000, that would come to 1,500. So minus 1,500, 10% trade discount, that would come to 13,500. Okay, so 13,500, that is the actual amount of goods that we have purchased, that will be showing in the books of accounts. So you can see I have written purchase account debit, that is 13,500. Now we have to make two parts of it, because half amount that is received in check and half amount that is still not received. It is a credit transaction, credit purchase. Okay, so 13,000, half of it, that will come to 6,750. Okay, so 6,750 we have received in check. So you can see I have written the journal entry, half amount that is received in check, that is to bank account, I have written 6,075, right? Because whatever amount that is received in check, that is a cash transaction. So on cash transaction we have to count the cash discount. So half amount, that is 6,750, that is received in check, but on that we are providing cash discount at 10%. So 10% cash discount on 6,750, that would come to 675. So remaining balance, that would be 6,075. So we are receiving the check of only rupees 6,000. Sorry, we are paying the check of only rupees 6,075. Okay. So here you can see I have written the journal entry, purchase account debit, that is 13,500. That is actual amount of goods that we have purchased after deducting the trade discount. Okay. To Radha Kishan stores account credit, because still half amount we have not paid. So that becomes the creditors we have to pay in future to Radha Kishan stores, that is 6,750. To bank account credit, that is we have paid the check of rupees 6,075 after getting the discount of rupees 675. Over here cash discount we have received because we have paid less amount compared to the actual amount. Actually we have to pay 6,750. But we had paid only rupees 6,075. So this amount we had paid by rupees 675. So it is one kind of income or gain for the business or the owner. So cash discount has been credited over here. As per the rule of nominal account, they credit all incomes and gains. So discount has been credited over here by rupees 675. And you have to verify that the total of this three should be equal to 13,500. It means debit and credit amount should be again repeating this transaction because it is different one compared to the remaining transactions that we have done till now. That is purchase account debit, that is 13,500. How that 13,500 came? 15,000 total worth of goods, from that subtract the 10% trade discount, 1,500. Remaining amount, that is 13,500. Out of that, half of the amount that is received in check and half of the amount that is paid in check and half of the amount is still not paid to Radha Kishan stores. So credit would arise, that is of rupees 6,750. And remaining amount that is paid in check, but whatever amount that is paid in check, that is a cash transaction. So on cash transaction we have to count the cash discount, not on the full amount, because entire transaction is not a credit cash transaction. Half is credit and half is cash. So only that part of transaction which is cash transaction, on that we have to count the cash discount. Okay, so 6,750, half of 13,500, on that we are counting 10% cash discount, so it came to 6,075. So 6,075 worth of check that we are giving to Radhakrishnan Stores. So to bank account credit means that much amount of bank balance will be reduced from our bank account. Okay, so credit the giver, bank is the giver on our behalf, right? And to discount, that much amount of discount that we are gaining, so it is an income for us. So credit the income or gain as per the rule of nominal account. Okay, so I hope the students' journal entry is clear to you. You have to write the narration after the journal entry, that is being goods purchased from Radhakrishnan Stores at 10% trade discount and 10% cash discount and half amount paid in check. Okay. After completion of the 7th transaction, let us see the 10th one. An order of rupees 5,000 received from Vibhuti to send goods. Now we have just received the order from Vibhuti to send the goods. Still the goods have not been sent. Okay, so still the goods have not been sent, so it is a non-economic transaction, because any of the transaction related to economic affairs has not taken place, so it is a non-economic transaction. If the goods are supplied, then and then only it becomes an economic transaction. And then afterwards, 12th date, that is as per order of Vibhuti, goods and at 10% trade discount paid rupees 50 carriage in cash. As per order, now this becomes an economic transaction, because now as per the order the goods are supplied to Vibhuti. Goods sent at 10% trade discount, goods worth rupees 5,000, on that 10% trade discount that will come to 500. So actual amount of goods that we have sold, that is 4,500. So you can see 12th date entry that I have written, Vibhuti is the receiver, because we have supplied the goods to Vibhuti. So Vibhuti's account that will be debited by rupees 4,500. To sales account credit, that is 4,500, because goods goes out. So credit what goes out. So sales account that will be credited by rupees 4,500. Okay, and one more entry is there, that is of carriage. We have supplied the goods, so transportation expense, that is rupees 50 while supplying the goods to Vibhuti. So another journal entry that I have written for 12th day, that is carriage is one kind of expense. So debit all expenses and losses as per the rule of nominal account. So carriage account is debited by rupees 50, and whatever the expense that is paid in cash, so cash account will be credited, because credit what goes out as per the rule of real account. Okay, so the journal entry that will come, carriage account debit to cash account credit by rupees 50. So in this transaction there will be two different journal entries, one journal entry for the sales and the second journal entry for the carriage expense. Then afterwards, on 15th date, Vibhuti became insolvent and bad debts recorded of rupees 300, a check received for remaining amount. Now Vibhuti is declared insolvent. She is not in a position to pay the amount that is due on her. Okay, so bad debts is recorded of rupees 300. Actually we have to receive how much amount from her? That is 4,500. We have sold the goods worth rupees 4,500 to Vibhuti. Out of that, bad debts is recorded of 300. It means she is not able to pay the full amount, but 300 rupees she is not able to pay. So that much amount will be considered as bad debts. It means it is a loss for the firm. We will not be able to receive that amount from Vibhuti. And remaining amount for that check is received. Remaining amount, that is 4,500 minus 300, that will come to 4,200. Okay, so the journal entry, that is we have received the check of remaining amount, so our bank account is receiver, so our bank balance will increase. So bank is the receiver, debit the receiver, bank account debit, that is 4,200. Bad debts is one kind of loss for the business, so debit all expenses and losses as per the rule of nominal account. So bad debts account debit, that is 300, to Vibhuti's account credit, that is 4,500, because she is the giver of that check. So Vibhuti's account that will be credited by rupees 4,500. You have to write the narration after the end of the journal entry, that is being goods being Vibhuti declared insolvent, check received for 4,200 and bad debts recorded at rupees 300. Okay. Then afterwards, after completion of 15th day, next one 16th day, on payable amount to Anup 1,050, paid rupees 1,000 by check and settled the account. Now we have to pay amount that is 1,050 to Anup. Out of that amount, we are paying only rupees 1,000 and settling this account. It means this is an example of allowance. We are not paying the minor amount that is of rupees 50. So that is considered as allowance over here. Now we are paying to Anup. So Anup is the receiver. How much we are paying? Actually we have to pay 1,050 to Anup, right? So Anup is the receiver. Anup's account debit, that is 1,050 to bank account credit, because we are paying the check. Okay, see again I am repeating the transaction. On paying amount to Anup rupees 1,050, paid rupees 1,000 by check. We have paid the check of rupees 1,000. So our bank balance will be reduced by rupees 1,000. Okay, so to bank account credit, that is rupees 1,000, and to allowance account credit, that is 50, because actually we have to pay 1,050 to Anup, but we are paying only rupees 1,000. So 50 rupees we are paying less. So ultimately it is gain or profit or income for the owner of the business. Okay. So allowance account is credited over here. As per the rule of nominal account, credit all incomes and gains. So Anup's account debit 1,050, to bank account credit, that is 1,000, and to allowance account credit, that is rupees 50. Being amount paid to narration code account, that is being amount paid to Anup by giving the check of rupees 1,000 and settled his account. Okay. Last entry, that is on 20th date, received rupees 1,500 for return of bad debts of Imandar. Previously the bad debts was recorded for Imandar because he was not liable. He has declared himself insolvent. So he was not in a position to pay rupees 1,500 to us. Okay. But now after having the sound position, Imandar is paying whatever the bad debts was there previously. Now that bad debts is recovered. That bad debts which we had declared previously, which was a loss for the firm, now that bad debts is recovered from Imandar. Okay. So now it becomes a gain or income for the business. So you can see cash comes in. So debit what comes in as per the rule of real account. So cash account debit by rupees 1,500. To bad debts return account credit, that is 1,500, because it is one kind of income or gain or profit for the business. Previously bad debts was there, then it becomes loss or expense for the firm. But now that bad debts is recovered, so even you can write bad debts return also, you can write bad debts recovered also. Okay. So to bad debts recovered account credit, that is rupees 1,500. So you have to write the narration at the end of the journal entry, that is being cash received for bad debts recovered from Imandar. Okay, so that's the end of the sum. At the end of that, you have to do the total without fail. That is, total of both the sides would be coming equal. Here you can see the total is coming 1,31,800, 1,31,800. Now, after understanding or completion of question number 12, I'll be explaining you question number 14 of your textbook, that is on page number 106. Students, question number 13 that I will be explaining you in the next video lecture, because that is the summation of all the types of journal entries that we have learned till now. So that I will be keeping it for the next video lecture. For now I am teaching you question number 14 of your textbook. So let's read the question first of all. A learner student has written following journal entry. Journal entry which are incorrect, correct them and rewrite. It means in this sum, the journal entries are already written and given it to you together with the narration. But these journal entries, there are some errors in the journal entries over here because they are prepared by one of the learner student, and there might be certain mistakes in writing the journal entries. So we have to rectify the journal entries over here and rewrite those entries which are having errors. Okay. So you can see the heading that I have given, that is rectified journal over here. Now let us read one by one the journal entry and verify whether it's correct or incorrect. If it is incorrect, we have to pass the new journal entry which is the correct one. Okay. 2014 August 1st, insurance premium account debit to cash account credit, that is 700. Now how can we identify that this transaction or this journal entry is correct or incorrect? On the basis of the narration that is given to you after each and every journal entry. You will read the narration, that is being rupees 700 paid for life insurance premium. Now whatever the 700 rupees that has been paid, that is of life insurance premium. Students, whenever the word life insurance premium comes, always it would be drawings, because it is the personal expense of the owner. So here instead of insurance premium, you have to write drawings account. Okay, so we have to rectify the entry by writing the first entry, that is drawings account debit, to cash account credit, that is 700. Means instead of insurance premium, you have to write drawings account. So the rectified entry that will be drawings account debit 700 rupees to cash account credit, that is 700. Next one, after each and every journal entry, whenever you are rectifying, then afterwards also you have to write the narration. It means you have to write the same narration, that is being 700 rupees paid for life insurance premium. Narration would come the same, but the entry would be rectified. Next, that is on 5th date, cash account debit to Jai's account credit 200 to Ajay's account credit, that is 100. Now what is the mistake over here? We'll verify from the narration. Being received rupees 200 of brokerage from Jai and 100 of commission from Ajay. Now over here, commission and brokerage, they are received from Ajay and Vijay. So here it is written the name of that particular person from whom the commission and brokerage has been received. But actually we have to write the name of that particular income in the journal entry. So we have to rectify the entry over here, that is cash account debit, that is 300, that is same, that is correct one, that is cash account debit, that is 300, to brokerage account credit, that is rupees 200, because we have to credit the income and gain as per the rule of nominal account, not the name of the person from whom that commission or brokerage has been received. Okay, so the rectified entry that would come cash account debit 300 to brokerage account credit, that is 200 to commission account credit, that is rupees 100. The narration would come the same as that given in your question, that is being received rupees 200 and 100 rupees as brokerage and commission. Next one, that is 7th date, purchase account debit to Vivek's account credit, that is 4,500. Looking at the narration, being goods of rupees 5,000 purchased from Vivek on cash at 10% cash discount. Now clearly it is mentioned over here that it is at 10% cash discount. So it is a cash transaction on cash, right? So we have to calculate the cash discount over here. So you can see the transaction rectified entry that I have written of 7th date, that is purchase account debit, that is 5,000. Of 5,000, cash that is received on 5,000 will come 10% trade discount, then it would come, 10% cash discount, then it would come to 500. So to cash account remaining amount, that would be 4,500. Whenever we are purchasing the goods, then we have to pay the cash. We are paying cash of only rupees 4,500. We have bought goods worth rupees 5,000, but we are paying the cash only rupees 4,500. We are getting the discount, cash discount, that is rupees 500 due to cash payment. Okay, so discount over here is an income. Okay, so discount account has been credited. Credit all incomes and gains. So the rectified entry that will come due to purchase. So purchase account will be debited, goods comes in. So purchase account debit, that is 5,000 to cash account credit, that is 4,500. After subtracting discount, that much amount of cash we are paying, and to discount account credit, that is a gain or profit for the firm, that is by rupees 500. The narration would come the same as that given in the question. Next one, that is 10th date, bank account debit to cash account credit, that is by rupees 7,000. Now the narration is given, being bank has approved overdraft of rupees 7,000. Bank has just approved the overdraft facility. Previously also this type of transaction has came in the previous video lectures. I had explained to you that this is a non-economic transaction because still the approval has been obtained from the bank for overdraft. Still any type of money that we had not withdrawn from the bank. So it is a non-economic transaction. And this non-economic transaction, no any journal entry would be recorded. So just you have to write over here that is non-economic transaction. No any journal entry you have to record for it. Next one, that is on 11th date. Vivek account debit to purchase return account credit, that is by rupees 1,000. Being 20% goods returned to Vivek and cash received from Vivek. Now total we have purchased goods from Vivek that is worth rupees 5,000. You can refer the previous journal entry of 7th date, that is we purchased the goods worth rupees 5,000 from Vivek. Out of 5,000 we are returning back 20% goods It means purchase return. Previously we had purchased, now we are returning back that goods to Vivek, but only 20%. So on 5,000, 20% it will come to 1,000. Okay. So here you can see the journal entry that I have written to purchase return account credit, that is 1,000. Why? Purchase will always be having a debit balance. So purchase return will always be having a credit balance, because while purchase the goods comes in the business, but while purchase return goods goes out of the business. So credit what goes out. So purchase return account will be credited by rupees 1,000. Now over here also discount we have to, previously we had got the discount of rupees 500 while purchasing, but now we are returning back 20% goods. So similarly we have to count 20% cash discount also of 500. So on 500, 20% that would come to 100. Okay, so 100 cash discount, previously out of 500, 100 rupees cash discount, now it will be an expense or loss for the business. So here you can see discount account that I have debited by rupees 100, and cash that we had paid to, cash that we had received from Vivek, that is rupees 900. See, it is clearly mentioned in the transaction, in the narration, that is cash received from Vivek. So that 900 rupees that we have received from Vivek after subtracting discount, that is 100 rupees. Okay. So again revising the journal entry, cash account debit, that is 900. Discount account debit, that is 100, because now it becomes an expense or loss for the firm. Previously 500 we received, but now 100 it becomes a loss that we are providing. Okay. And to purchase return account credit, that is 1,000, that is 5,000, 20% of 5,000, that will come to 1,000. Out of 1,000, 10% cash discount, that would come to 100 rupees. Okay. So remaining 900 rupees that we are paying, that we are receiving from Vivek. Okay, so cash receipt, debit what comes in, that is rupees 900. Discount allowed, discount given, that is rupees 100. So it is an expense. And to purchase return account credit, that is rupees 1,000. Okay. Next one, that is on 12th date, cash account debit to debtors account credit. Being rupees 500 received from debtor which was written off in past. It means previously there was due amount by the debtor, that is rupees 500, but now that amount has been recovered from that debtor. It means previously it was considered as bad debts, but now that bad debts is recovered from that debtor. So the journal entry, rectified journal entry that would come, that is cash account debit, that is by rupees 500, to bad debts return account credit, that is 500. Previously it was considered as bad debts, it means it was a loss for the business. That much amount we were not able to receive from the debtor, but now that much amount we are receiving from the debtor, so it is a gain or income for the business. So here bad debts return account will be credited. Already I explained that you can write bad debts return also, you can write bad debts recovered also over here. Okay. So the journal entry, rectified journal entry, that would be cash account debit 500 to bad debts return account credit, that is rupees 500. Next transaction, that is on 13th date, repairing expense account debit to cash account credit by rupees 1,500. Being paid cash 500 for shop repairing and 1,000 for house repairing. Now over here together the total is given of repairing expense. Actually 500 is for shop repairing and 1,000 is for house repairing. Whenever any expense we are making for personal use, then it is to be recorded under the heading of drawings account. So here the rectified entry that would come, that is repairing expense account debit. Whatever we are making for shop, that would be under the heading of repairing expense only. So repairing expense account debit, that would be 500. Whatever expense, repairing expense that we are making for house, that would be under the heading of drawings. So drawings account debit, that is 1,000. To cash account credit, that is 1,500. Whatever the expense that we are paying in cash, so cash goes out, credit what goes out, and any kind of expense will always be debited as per the rule of nominal account. Okay, so here the mistake was that entire amount of expense that was considered under the heading of repairing expense, but whatever the house repairing expense, that we have to show under the different heading, that is drawings account. Okay, so that we have shown the rectified entry over here. Last entry, that is on 15th date, wages account debit to cash account credit by rupees 800. Being paid cash rupees 800 for machine installation. Now whatever the expense that we have paid, any kind of machinery the owner has purchased for the business, and that machinery the producer of that machinery comes to install that machinery in the business. Then while installation, that installation charges he is taking from the owner, that is rupees 800. So we don't have to put it under the heading of wages. It is to be included in the cost of machinery only. Suppose we had purchased the machinery worth rupees 50,000, and on 50,000 the installation cost is rupees 800. So the total cost of machinery, that would be 50,800. We do not have to show under different headings. It will be already included in the total cost of machinery. Okay, so here the rectified entry, that would be machine account debit. Instead of wages, we have to write machine account debit, because it will be included in the cost of machinery only. Okay, so machine account debit, that is 800, to cash account credit, that is rupees 800. So these are the rectified entries, and the total that would come, that is 9,800 and 9,800. So that's all for today, students. In the next video lecture, I will be explaining you the main important sum, that is question number 13 of your textbook, that is inclusive of all the types of journal entries. Till then, goodbye, keep practicing, stay blessed.